Hello and welcome back to another episode of Confessions of a Gamer Girl podcast. I'm your host, Doomcutie, and here with me, I have our season 2 panel. We have the sensational Shaye.
Hello.
And the effervescent Ellie.
Hello, hello. Stoked to be back.
We're back! I'm so excited! So happy to be here. And we have a lot of new faces in the chat. I can see them already. Hello, welcome in. And also thank you if you are listening on audio websites, various ones that we're on. Fantastic. If you are new around here, Confessions of a Gamer Girl podcast aims to amplify and educate and entertain everyone in gaming, but specifically women in gaming. We are here, and we love to see it. So, I'm so, you guys, I'm legit. Someone else talk, please. Someone else talk. Ellie, what have you been up to?
What have I
How's
been up
2024?
to? Goodness. Yeah, 2024. I mean, it's summer, so who can be mad at it? Well,
Me.
Melbourne summer, so there's that.
What do you mean? Hold on, no, Ellie. It was 45 degrees today. Yesterday,
so
45 degrees.
All right, little kid summer I've got over here at 31 degrees today, and I was like, oh, it's beautiful. So, yeah, little kid summer, but enjoying that.
Okay.
Obviously came on a bit of a high from Christmas, New Year's, lots of new games to play. So I have been busy. A great start to 2024, and I look forward to the rest of it.
It's really amazing to see people come out, especially content creators, streamers in this space, and they've got all these new ideas, these like fresh, a fresh vibe, and it's always really inspiring. So we love that.
Yeah, totally.
And,
turn of the year, it just really gets everyone's cogs turning, and everyone's burning for new stuff, new content, and we're going to bring it to them with season 2.
Love that. And Shaye, welcome to Confessions of a Gamer Girl.
Hello. I unfortunately do not have baby summer, and I do have the complexion of a potato. So I've just been staying indoors because I went outside for 8 minutes to walk to the bus, and I got a sunburn.
8 minutes.
Yep. And it happened in the first 4. So I'm in Queensland, so not only do we get high 30s, so not quite 45, but high 30s, and then we get a nice, fun, cheeky 80% humidity. So I just stay inside and hope for the best, really. But that's okay, because I get to game, and I only have to leave my house to then teach people about games. So it's an alright deal. I don't mind it.
Sounds all right to me. And yes, if you haven't already, go and watch Shaye's introduction video. I loved, and this is a bit of an insider tip. First of all, she's not looking at the camera. She apologized and said, no, she won't be filming it again.
I was like, no,
No, and I don't have that. Does the AI software actually, does it do it in live time or does it do it
it can.
after
Yeah.
post?
No, okay, so broadcast does it live, but the thing is I have blue eyes and it makes my eyes brown and it makes them like burrow into your soul. I've turned it on and it's like deeply uncomfortable. So I was like, ooh, maybe not.
Yeah, okay. Good thing I didn't do that. Anyway, so that was the first thing. Second thing, she was muted and I didn't realize this. And I
Yes.
spent, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes trying to figure out why I couldn't hear her in the editing software. I just scrolled a little bit forward and she's like, have fun with that, Doom. And I was like, please, come on. What are you doing to me? Anyway, the joys of video editing. If you're a content creator out there or, you do this for a living, first of all, what is wrong with you? And please tell me you're charging so much for this because it takes so long. Oh, my days. Well, I'm sorry about the sun, Shay. I can recommend sunscreen.
Well, yes, I guess. But also it's sticky and smelly and it touches me and we just discussed this. I don't like it.
Oh, yes, in the green room before. What was that in context to? I can't remember.
My hair.
Hair length.
Yeah.
Oh, the
But
hair
it's growing-
length.
Yeah, because it's growing out of a bob. So it's like it's just started brushing my shoulders and then now it's doing the thing where it's like hooking in the shirt collar and
Oh, right.
Yep. Mm-mm-mm.
If I did that, I would actually look like a potato, Shay. Anyway, you won't see me sporting a bob anytime soon. I think people came here to watch us or listen to us talk about games, so we should probably do that at some point, ladies. Shay, what have you been playing recently? What do you want to shout out?
Boy, I have had a fun little hyper focus. I dropped 40 something hours into it in the last week. It's fine. It's not addiction. It's called Mind Over Magic, and it is this just fantastic mixture of base building, turn-based combat, and general like resource management game that's obviously set in a magic school. So you're trying to train these students, you're trying to make sure your lecturers don't have an absolute meltdown, you're trying to make sure they're fed, you've got this encroaching fog coming at you constantly, you're trying to resource gather so that you can push the fog back, all in this like fantastic art style similar to Don't Starve Together. So it was actually published by Clay and developed by a different studio. So it's it has taken up a little bit of my time.
I love that.
Yes.
Where can I play it?
Oh, you can play that on Steam. Oh boy, am I going to get friends to play with? This is amazing. So it's amazing, right? You can play it on Steam, and it's an early access at the moment, but I'd say they've worked it out pretty like solidly. I'm not seeing any bugs. I haven't had anything break. No crashes, so that's amazing.
We love that.
Yeah, and it's $35.95 Australian. Don't know if we have any international viewers. Might be cheaper for you guys. But yeah, so far like very positive reviews, over 1,000, and I can't wait to see how much more they make it grow. The base building alone is astounding. So you'll go into like a room, say I want to build a hospital. It'll actually give me keywords for that hospital that I have to stick to, otherwise it won't register. So it like has to be lofted and skewed. So what that means is it has to be taller than it is wide, but to be skewed, one wall has to be 3 blocks taller than the other one. So you've got this wonky, like, just craziness.
This is a lot of
going
rules.
on.
I thought gaming was supposed to be relaxing.
I kind of like it though, because it means I'm not stressing about it. It's like it can look weird, and that's okay.
Oh well, look, as long as you're having a fantastic time, Shay.
Too much. Too much.
Ellie, what's been keeping you entertained this 2024 so far?
Yeah, I mean, I've been playing a few titles, but mainly been chugging my way through Resident Evil 4, which you can't really relate to Doomcutie, as you're not really a big horror fan, are you? Whereas
Look.
I definitely am.
Look, different strokes for different folks. Yeah, look, I have tried to play Resident Evil. I went back and I played the first one. The camera angle. The camera angles are
Yeah.
that is the scare. You know what I mean? Like it's
Oh,
like
yeah.
why can't I can't see? Like next
No,
minute
totally.
I just anyway, so that's really put me off that. And then I played a little bit of Village and
Ooh.
mm,
Villages. They are something else.
I just no, absolutely not. So
Yeah.
you know what, Ellie, you can have all of those. All
Yes.
for you.
Yeah. I actually really love the little remakes. 2 is one of my actually favorite ever games, really. And Shay, you were talking about resource building before, and I think my favorite thing about Resident Evil is that the map is red, and then when you've gathered all the resources in that room, it goes grey. And for me, such a visual person, it's so satisfying, because then you're not like worrying or wondering if you've got more resources left behind, because I'm such a person that I'm like, I don't want to go through that door because I feel like it's going to be a cutscene, like I have to loot over here. And so Resident Evil 2 and 3, the remakes both did that, but there's a difference with Resident Evil 4 because they're not doing that. And I'm like, girl, have I got every resource in this building? So anytime I'm playing anything like that, especially at the moment, Resident Evil 4, I am spending ages looting because I need that glorious treasure. So that's the only downside. They didn't continue the map, but I am really enjoying it. The villagers are definitely scary. They keep trying to murder me, and I am Leon, the ever gorgeous, perfect cop. So I don't know why they're angry at me, but that's what I've been enjoying. Well, one of the many titles, but that's mainly what I've been enjoying lately, which is lovely.
Well, fantastic. I'm so glad and happy for you to enjoy that. Not for me. I'm sorry if that makes me less of a gamer. I don't care. I really don't care.
Not. I think we all have genres we gravitate to, and I think I'm definitely more action, adventure, horror, and not really cozy. But cozy's been, taking the world by storm, especially the last half a year to year. It's been everywhere, especially with streamers, and I don't really partake in that at all. As we discussed early last season, I'm a rage gamer, and cozy. It's a bit cruel for me to rage at farming sims, but I do, and that's fine. I've accepted that.
It's just not fair on the cute bunnies. You know what I mean?
No, it's not.
It's not fair on the cute, fruit and vegetables.
Yeah, to suffer my wrath. It's just it's not very kind.
Wrath of Ellie. Love that.
Ellie, you'll have to, if you're into rage gaming, have to come play some League of Legends with me. I play League of Legends or fun resource management. You don't get an in between.
I think I've not reined down my my rage on my friends when they play League, because I'm like, well, I don't know. Do you want to unlock that side of me?
We'll just disconnect your chat. It'll be fine. It'll be fine.
That's exactly.
You just won't be on the stream.
Oh no, you'll be on the stream. I want to giggle, but we'll disconnect you from the game chat. We don't want you banned.
Yeah. Oh, true. No, totally fair.
Oh my days. No, do not want to see that. Oh look, it's people are in the chat. Oh my god, so exciting. None of our mods are probably because they're busy, but that's okay. That's fine. Ellie, I thought you were playing Tomb Raider.
Yeah, so as I mentioned, I've been playing a few different titles, and I have been playing the remakes. Apparently, I have a thing for remakes of the Tomb Raider series. So, don't even quiz me on what year Tomb Raider first came out. But picture this: everything is blocks. You can't look around. you can't move backwards. That's where we're at with games, with Tomb Raider. But yeah, it has, because I'm an avid Lara Croft lover. I absolutely loved the remakes. It fits into that action adventure that I absolutely love. I think Lara Croft is a fantastic character. So actually on her birthday, so February 14th, they released a remake. I guess those words are different. Remake. And in regards to that, as I was saying, it literally is just aesthetics. So there's no mechanic improvement. There's no mechanics. My girl cannot look up. I cannot move properly. I got stuck between two walls and got killed by a bear. It's a lot going
Excellent.
on.
Look,
Yeah.
Ellie, all I'm going to say is, what about the titties?
Fixed. She has much
Fixed.
normal. Yes. Her gorgeous,
Praise be.
voluptuous, aesthetic body has been fixed to actually be a shape of a woman's body and not something created in paint by an 8-year-old. So it's fantastic. It is pretty cool because you can toggle between the old graphics and the new graphics, and that's really cool. It definitely, you get to see what you used to game with however many years ago. But I think my question of the evening would be, how much can nostalgia carry these games? Because as I said, I'm not going to lie, it genuinely is hard to play, and it's not for the normal reasons. It's just looking around. You can't really do normal mechanics like jumping is very clunky. You're falling off and running around. You can't look at stuff. The aim is auto. The buttons are backwards. So playing it for someone, because personally I didn't play the Origi-Digi. I am a bit young for that.
She's very young, Ellie.
I'm a young gamer. And so I would
youthful.
love your opinion on how much nostalgia is going to carry these remakes through, because at what level do you just get frustrated that you can't do these normal modern gaming techniques to the point where you're like, well, yeah, cool, it's been revamped, it's a bit of a facelift, I appreciate that, but it's clunky and it's hard. Do I continue for the sake of continuing?
It's an interesting question, because I think a lot of people go back and they play those old games because they like to relive the good times or whatever in gaming, and some of those games were extremely difficult. It was extremely difficult to play them. Like we're talking, like you say, those quality of life mechanics in gaming that we're so accustomed to. We really are spoiled in that regard, because every game was made really differently. Like you say, you couldn't jump, you couldn't look around, you couldn't go backwards. But yeah, sometimes for the sake of nostalgia, I don't know. Unless it's going to like enhance my experience in the game, I don't think I want to go back and play like a prettier. I don't want to go and play a prettier version of the same game, if that makes sense. Like I want it to be enriched a little bit.
Yep. That's exactly what I think. And I do question people who have been playing these original games all the way back then. If they're still gaming, they're up to date what we've all been playing with. So all the normal mechanics, all the different kind of generic, because everything across the board with the controller, for example, is relatively similar with the triggers. You look, you aim, all of that sort of thing. They're pretty much relatively all the same. If these people have been playing the games ever since Tomb Raider originally was released, they too would go back and they'd be like, oh gosh, I remember it being quite clunky, quite disconnected. But now that I'm used to the new version, it's even more harder. But then you've got the people that might not really game as much anymore, and maybe they could go back and be like, oh gosh, it's like just like I remember it. And I think it's just very interesting that these games just get a facelift, and you're like, how much though is that truly worth? And is anyone going back and be like, absolutely loved it just like the first time? Or have you advanced in your gaming that it's like doesn't really work?
Well, Shaye, you might have something to say about this, knowing your I'm literally going to be asking you a lot about this because you do teach game design.
Very fair.
is that because, like, I'm just thinking, right? The reason why it would only be a facelift for a game that was released, 25, 30 years ago, is that because they might essentially break the game if they try to improve it too much? Is that possible?
Yes and no in a few ways. So, for one, often they're porting it forward to a new console. So they're already doing quite a bit on the back end there. But they actually devs face a lot of backlash for changing games mechanically. So unfortunately, it's not always desirable to fix some of the quality of life things because, while we're used to them and obviously we appreciate them now, you'll still have people always wanting the classic because they are so fixed on their nostalgia. And, maybe they can view it through that lens. Maybe they're actually very good at going, oh, I remember this as a kid. I actually really enjoyed the struggle. Or perhaps they can appreciate the level of technology we had at the time, and so they understand the constraints. But a really good example is World of Warcraft. So we have all the newest stuff, and putting aside the storyline, we have a lot of quality of life things. And ones that we may not even fully realize we have because we've gotten so used to the way things are now. But I actually went back and played Warcraft Classic last month or so. Oh my god. Oh my god. I was a hunter. My pet wouldn't do what I wanted it to do. Everything was terrible. It was unforgiving. And I really, really appreciated the modern take that we have on it. I appreciate the little incremental changes that we've gotten as a result. So I think there is a place for retro games in their classic form, and I think that reskin is, it's fine. Personally, I do love our current resolution. I really hate playing in square form. It bothers me deeply. But I don't think they're ever going to be like a large mainstream release that's going to take the place of a new game. I think it's really just going to be for people who want to experience games like they used to be. So, like, where did we come from? What did we develop from? Why did we create the mechanics and quality of life features that we have? And it's just going to be for people who are like, I'm going to go play this game. Was it actually as hard as I thought it was? Oh, it was. And it wasn't because of lack of skill. It was because I couldn't move the camera.
Yeah, you definitely make a good point with that. It sort of gives it a new life. Like, I would almost think that gamers today, like younger gamers who weren't really, because I would consider myself I consider myself as a bit of a halfway gamer in the way of, like, I recognize where video games kind of established from and grew up with. And even though I wasn't necessarily playing those until maybe the late 2000s, I kind of jumped on that, and I've kind of ridden a wave of growth and progression. But children that are playing games now, you could almost argue that they are almost too far away from it, and they would look at something like the original Lara Croft and be like, why am I looking at a square that's supposed to be a rock? Why is she pointy? Like, why does that bear look horrific? And so by kind of bringing at least the graphics up to, I would almost say 2024 standard, because although part of the caves that I'm in at the moment still have a square look, they've still got the vines growing up and stuff. So they've got a little bit of what it used to be. And you can toggle between the old graphics and the new graphics, so you can see a side-by-side comparison. You've seen what they've left. That sort of thing does, like you say, leave it in its pristine condition, original condition, and bring it forward so that newer gamers would be like, actually, you know what? I can at least consume this media without being like, it's unplayable. I don't want to look at it. Like, it visually is not, like, it visually is not appealing, but you get the little bits and bobs that, like, oh, okay, like it looks pretty cool, and it's the same with like Uncharted 1, because I found the first Uncharted actually almost pretty tricky to play because I couldn't look up, and I used to use a lot of things by looking up, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is so hard. And now I've played the original Tomb Raider, I'm like, girl, you didn't know what was hard in video games.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I love that little bit of insight. And yeah, I honestly, I think it's pretty cool that you can toggle between the two. That's really awesome. I need to probably answer some questions myself. I haven't asked myself any questions.
What have you been playing, Ellie? What have you been up to?
I've been playing a game called Ultros. Now, hear me out. All right, it's a psychedelic Metroidvania style game, and you wake up stranded in the uterus of a demon.
Okay.
Right. Rock
Oh,
and
that's a good
roll.
start. Strong start.
I'll just let you digest that for a minute. Is that Tank meowing? Who's
I
Tank?
have my cat.
Oh,
Sorry, I have
Oh,
two
he's
cats,
that-
and one of
Oh.
them has discovered that I'm talking and needed to chat as well. So
oh,
very important.
that's okay.
Hmm.
That's totally fine. Back to the uterus.
Sure.
There's a lot of like some of the dialogue between these very fascinating creatures is very full of puns around fertilization and seed.
Seed.
So yeah, I'll be reviewing that over on Quest Daily. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, both Ellie and I work as on the team of Quest Daily. Oh my gosh, the chat is really look. It's a real game, okay? I didn't make it up. All right, it's
What studio is it by?
Hadoque. Hadoque. Ultros. That's what I'm playing. It looks
Well, I
cool.
love that for you.
Thank you.
I'm keen to read your review because that sounds unique. To say
I think they've got a really strong. They've got a really strong opener. I think they're really capturing an audience. The audience is confused and alarmed, but they're there, and that's really what's important.
Yeah, I feel like Miss Frizzle is behind this. I think her and her school bus. I think that we might look around in that uterus, and you might find a little yellow school bus also with you.
I will let you know if I see one. If you are interested, there's a free demo on Steam, so feel free to check out the uterus. Anyway, moving on.
Yep.
Ooh, okay. Ladies, topics this week. Ellie, you went into yours a little bit. I feel. Shaye, what kind of gaming news would you like us? What would you like to bring to the table?
Well, my gaming news is less joyous than everybody else's, to be honest. So, as you guys know, 16,000 jobs were lost in the games industry worldwide, and of course that includes Australia. That's an insane amount of jobs, especially considering the profits the countries are reporting from our industry. And you might be wondering, like, yeah, okay, well, that's unfortunate, but it'll be okay. Well, personally, I'm a games educator, so what am I sending my students into? We have how many cohorts of students who've studied game design graduating all around Brisbane? That's where I'm specialized. That's where I'm placed. All of them graduating. What are they going to go into? Because those layoffs hit Australia as well. They hit Sledgehammer Games, especially in Melbourne. And what do you say to your students when they see that? And Queensland has just provided a 30% increase in tax offset for game developers, and now we're seeing 16,000 jobs cut worldwide. Like, as a young person, or even someone new to our industry, trying to get into development, trying to get into the indie scene, anything like that, it's a really, I suppose, bleak landscape to be going into.
Very mixed signals, I would say.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you're exactly right, because we're seeing our government invest in this industry. I feel like the government's finally understand. Well, they're understanding that games are a valid form of entertainment for all ages, and it is something worth investing in. So for me personally, I mean, I'm an educator as well, and I don't think if one of my students came to me and said, "Oh, what do you think about becoming a game designer or, working in games, I don't know if I would say like it's not the most stable environment to be in,
Absolutely not.
despite what we're seeing. Yeah, I've honestly, I know a couple of people that have been let go, and I'm seeing some of their journeys like afterwards, and
Yeah.
it's incredibly sad.
Like it's really easy to say 16,000 jobs, but then you start looking at the individual stories and you start looking at the impact on just an actual person level, and it's shocking because it's such a specific field. There are some areas that you can branch out into, and if you're lucky and your skills apply there, fantastic. But in the end, it's always been a little less reliable than I'd like to be a creative in most creative fields, and this is just rocking that boat further. I'm not sure how it will go going forward. I mean, like if you were a young person, you just finished school and you're looking at going into uni to study something, would you really pick the thing that just dropped 16,000 people worldwide?
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. Was there a catalyst for something to spur that across the globe? Because I've heard about it, but I haven't really been looking much into it. Was there a starting country? Was there a starting reason? What was behind it?
I didn't see a starting country. Sorry, Doom, you go.
No, I would say like we have been overall like on an economic downturn. Like if you think about us coming out of COVID, but is it like maybe it was spurred on from people let go from Blizzard, from Microsoft. Microsoft let go of like 12,000 employees in total to make room for the new employees during that acquisition. So and that happens with lots of small and big acquisitions across gaming business. So I don't think that there's particularly one thing that would pinpoint it really.
It's a bit of a mix. So obviously during COVID, everyone was gaming because like what else were you going to do? You couldn't go outside. So game sales, fantastic, love it. But there's been quite a slump since then because people are actually going back to work. There's a lot less work from home. And on top of that, we are hitting a cost of living crisis in a lot of countries. So the first people to go when the world hits financial difficulties is the creatives. And at the moment, it's focused on games.
Yeah. Which is insane considering the entertainment industry is what keeps morale up in general. And a lot of people turn to it in their hard times. Yet the first thing that people think that it is not necessary or a viable community is entertainment. It's creatives, which to me, it makes sense in the field of obviously it's not as important as medical staff, keeping people alive. Like that genuinely logistically, of course, makes sense. But outside of that, if you look at, your pyramid of needs, entertainment is there and it's a big chunk of that. So it's very fascinating that sort of thing takes a tumble when it's all forms of media, including games, television, film, that sort of thing, all keeps morale alive and well, and a lot of people turn to that when they need a bit of a pick-me-up or they need support. It's social in the way of media.
It's honestly, gaming for me is fantastic for mental health. So whether that's having an environment where I can sort of pull away and relax and de-stress, or an environment where I can socialize, or even a talking topic when I'm not really sure how to engage with somebody. But unfortunately, it is often targeted first. Unfortunately, creative industries, and in this context, games, it can often be considered easy, despite the fact that we, of course, know it is not. Unfortunately, people educated in this area aren't as common as those who are not. So the easiest thing to cut first, the fun thing, the easy-looking thing, because why would we cut anything else?
Yes, it's very true. So I guess if we look at this in a more solution-focused lens, would you say that there are skills? So your students that are obviously graduating, are there interchangeable skills?
Oh, absolutely.
That they can move to other fields.
So it's really interesting because you'll find that a lot of game designers, programmers, all that kind of thing, they actually end up in training. So
Yeah, okay.
really fantastic ways of training people for unsafe environments. So this includes army, this includes like fire safety, anything like that, and even at times recovery, so therapy. You need people who know how to build games to build those experiences, environments.
Yeah.
It may not be your traditional like fun, shiny colors, I'm
AAA.
getting coins, but still incredibly important. So there are other avenues, a lot of other avenues, but I think a lot of people are really still quite set on the idea of the traditional studio.
Yeah, for sure. I personally see VR being used a lot more in schools, and I think that we are going to need people who are producers, people who can build these worlds that are interactive and really lend themselves well to that VR experience. I think I remember at the end of last year. For those of you who don't know, I live in a very small town, and we have a little, fair. And at the fair, they sell like tractors and, you know, big,
Like full-size tractors.
all that they have them there.
Oh.
Yeah.
No, sorry, I'm like,
Do you
you're
know
just
how
casually selling off a
like a
tractor. It's so
header,
expensive.
like a header? Yeah, $1 million. $1 million for
And
a
you just take
tractor
that
and
to
a
a
header.
fair.
Yeah, because you have to see it, right? And the
Oh no, I
kids,
meant the
they
$1
get
million.
in there and not the $1 million. The million, they don't bring the $1 million. Anyway, this past year they had this. It was like a semi-trailer, and in the back of it, they actually had it set up for people to learn about driving trucks. Because where I live, they like drive the trucks like. They drive trucks to cart the like grain, transport it, from farms to grading, and then from grading and storage to to the like the ports to be shipped off, and that's how you get your bread. And anyway, so they had this training program, and it was like VR. You sat in the thing, and it was like a game. It was So I think people don't think of that when they think about developing games.
It's really big in
especially
mining.
and especially with the Apple Vision Pro now coming out.
Oh
it's
my
just,
gosh,
it's
that is
just slowly
something from Willy Wonka, isn't it?
It's just slowly moving into more VR heavy, which is for anyone who hasn't really tried VR, it's quite motion sickness esque. Like I tried it when Half-Life Alyx came out, and that was Half-Life Alyx 2, and it was only VR, which was very peculiar. I don't know if they thought that they were jumping ahead of the game, thinking, oh, VR is going to be massive, like let's release this insanely anticipated game on VR. Anyway, we got a VR headset for that. And I could only really play it in like maybe not even 10-minute sessions, because you're kind of like, your vertigo goes off a little bit because you see stuff, you're in a whole new world, but you're not quite there. And so your brain, it's like uncanny valley. Your brain kind of registers. And I actually had a friend come over, and we almost had almost a collision, because I put the headset on him, and I gave him the handles, and he instantly swiped to the point where I felt the air rush from his wrists through me. And I was like, bro, you almost just hit me in the face. And obviously he doesn't know, because he's on the streets of Italy or something. Like he's in whoop whoop in this little test program that he was using. So it definitely is an interesting avenue, and I don't know if it's a successful avenue for gaming just yet, but I think it's a very successful tool that a lot of companies and teachings methods are going to jump on, because you can see so much in a little thing.
Yeah, but I wouldn't. I'm just going to pop my glasses on and see like my spreadsheets and my marking and this timetable and.
I think I take my glasses off and be like, actually, I don't want that. Thank you.
I think reality sometimes is fine. I think we cannot rely on technology for a second of our day and live in the now.
Look, the only technology I'm concerned about is, when am I going to get a flying car? All right, I've seen enough of the Jetsons when I was a child. I can be
Actually
inside a
think so.
computer apparently with VR, but I can't like fly.
Would you accept a flying car in VR? It's reachable now, so it's a trade-off, but we can get there.
Yeah,
I
think
as long as it's like Flight
Classy.
Simulator.
Yeah,
Like, I want to be able to like fly over my house. Like, has to have like Google Maps like linking. So then
I think we can do it. It's doable.
Yeah, because it's very evident in the chat that we're not alone with the headsets being a bit of a headachy, motion sicknessy, and crashing into walls. So it definitely is. It's the new Wii. Do you remember when the Wii came out and people were like smashing TVs with the batons?
Sorry.
Yeah.
Put your wrist strap on.
That's what they had to do a whole campaign. They had to do a whole campaign. And when you turned it on, it was like, put that shit on right now because it's gone flying. It is going flying. We've had enough of 8-year-olds sending these remotes through windows and through
then their mums
screens.
getting mad at us.
Like
every time their parents
put that strap on now.
Strap on what?
Just the strap. Put it on your wrist. Strap the wrist on.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Fair. No, it was uncool, you know.
Yeah.
It's like
danger is cool.
Danger is cool.
You need the wrist.
Yeah. It's like not wearing a helmet, right? You wear a helmet as a kid, you got bullied. You didn't wear one though. You were fine. You could fall off and absolutely, eat dirt, and that was okay. Don't wear a helmet though.
Children.
Yeah, you're fine.
Look, we still do have the wrist straps that are required for the Nintendo Switch when you play Just Dance, so you should definitely use them for that. Although they're not as hefty as the Wii controllers, most definitely not. The chat's now laughing at me. Great, love that. Yeah, I love how we've managed to turn such a somber topic into a whole lot of innuendos. That's great. Look, if you don't come here for the people don't come here for the the facts, they come for the entertainment. You know what I mean? This is very entertaining today, guys. Love that. In my news, that there's a couple of things. First of all, who has seen the Borderlands trailer? For the Borderlands movie.
Haven't jumped on. I've seen like the posters and the pictures and things. I haven't but I've been hearing about it for easily a couple of years now, because I was kind of following the film studio, because it was very fascinating. I love when film and video games collide.
Yeah. But is Jamie Lee Curtis the right gal?
I mean, she's is it Oscar winner? Is she an Oscar winner? Was it one of those shiny gold statues that she won?
Yeah, she probably won a Golden Globe. Yeah.
Golden Globe, yes, for Everything Everywhere All at Once. So at least she is skilled enough to go for it, but fascinating.
Well, she's well
choice,
experienced.
I suppose.
Yeah, I think they went a little bit older with the cast, which I wasn't expecting. I honestly wasn't expecting this announced at all. Was it? I mean, it wasn't on my 2024 bingo card, that's for sure.
No, honestly, so I have some more hope because of recent things with, game and film or TV crossovers. I mean, Castlevania was superb. But due to motion sickness, I actually can't play first or third person games. So if I try and play Borderlands, I will need to step out of the room. I'm so gone. So part of me wants this film to be amazing because I want to experience this game that I can't even watch because I think it's hilarious from the little bits that I've seen. Claptrap is just superb. But also from what I've seen and like a lot of the conversation around it from people who have played the game and are very familiar with the characters, I'm not hearing a lot of positivity.
Really?
Yeah. Both the casting and just some of what was seen in the trailer.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Ooh, spicy. Even though Claptrap is Jack Black. That's a cat.
I'm so sorry. This is
Welcome
one
to
of my
Coag.
cats. This is the secret fourth co-host. This is Dawn.
Very cute. Very cute.
She knows.
She knows.
She knows.
She has
She gets away
opinions.
with. Oh, she has so many opinions, and she says them very loudly in the middle of my lounge room.
Hold on, I'm just going to read out the full cast for y'all playing at home. Where are we? Okay, so we've got Cate Blanchett as Lilith. We've got Jack
so they've
Black.
got big names. We ain't playing.
Yeah.
They've got big names.
Big names.
Okay.
Jack Black as Claptrap, Jamie Lee Curtis as Dr. Tannis, Kevin Hart as Roland.
Oh, stop.
I did see a lot of concern with that particular casting.
Yeah. We've got Ariana Greenblatt as Tiny Tina. She looks magical. I haven't seen her in anything though, so probably very good. Florian Munteanu as Craig. I don't know, big muscly, thick-necked guy. And then Edgar Ramirez as Atlas. So I don't know. No tats on Lilith. Yeah. Oh gosh. Spicy times, but you know what? I like Shaye said, we've had some really good game adaptations recently, and even though the first season was not that great, the start to Halo at the moment, I'm really enjoying it. I don't know if you girls watch it or if anyone listening has watched it.
Was this about how they revealed Master Chief and what he looked like? Is that same thing?
I did see that.
So in the first season, they took his helmet off like the first episode. And
they should have built that up like Mandalorian.
Oh yes, Mandalorian. He can do
Bring
no
back
wrong.
Pedro Pascal as a Master Chief.
He's not big enough. He's not tall enough. Like, needs
just
to
give him some heels and some shoulder pads. It'll be fine.
God. RuPaul, but Master Chief and Pedro Pascal all make a gorgeous little combination baby, and bam, you've got the perfect show.
We're all about solutions here, you know? We can fix it, don't worry.
Make it work.
Work with an E.
Work.
No, okay, well, let's rewind, because the controversy around that was, yes, the helmet thing, because not even in the game we have, seen him. Apparently there's been some reflections that people like zoom in, like, pixelated, apparently.
The mystery is the fun part.
Oh, yes. And I mean, I don't know about you guys, but, I think a lot of people are fans of, keeping the mask on, masks.
Bit of mystery.
Yeah, we love that. Anyway, I've probably seen too many ghost thirst traps or something. I don't know why they keep getting recommended to me. I don't even play Call of Duty. Anyway.
I'm following now because I see a lot of his like the goofy like reels and TikToks, and I'm like, who is this person? Like, I have no idea. And yeah, okay, gotcha.
Okay, good. I'm glad you're picking up what I'm putting down. Also, Master Cheeks. Okay,
Master
we saw his bottom. Okay, this is not okay. Yeah, we saw
bot.
Master Chief John 117. His bottom. So anyway, we've come full circle, all right, where we've come back. They're really aligning it a lot more with the lore of the game. And yeah, so I'm hopeful. Okay, I'm hopeful. Someone in the chat has just said, I love the idea of masked characters because everyone can feel like they are the character.
That's
and
a very
boom,
good
no
point.
gender.
Yeah, you can see yourself in them as well, because it's no gender, no race, no sexual identity, like none of that. So, you can imagine, yourself. And there is always like a limit of like, I suppose, disappointment, because you come to expect what you think that they look like. And when you finally do see them, you get like a bit of a shock. You're like, oh, that's not what I pictured. And then you're kind of left feeling a bit like weird about it. Cause like, has my whole adventure with this person been a bit of a lie? Like, yeah, I've played a few games
What a
where you're
catfish.
meant to be, you're meant to be a bit of a, I don't want to use the term nobody, like a mystery, like, you know, a bit like no face to the name, and then it gets
Anonymous.
revealed, and anonymous, and then you're like, oh, well, let me go back, and then now I know what you look like. Go from there. A couple
I
of
love when you go
the
back.
Alien games is like that.
I
No
love when you
idea
go back
until
though, and they kind of drop some hints, and you're like, "Oh, I didn't see
I
that."
didn't pick it up.
Oh, okay. I see why that happened. Okay.
Mm.
Yes. Well, no one likes to be disappointed, that's for sure. We did mention, I think, last season when we had Kitty on, and we talked about the Zelda movie and the fact that these characters don't really have voices, and like putting a voice to these characters, like, is that going to ruin the immersion for some people watching this movie? Like, I feel like people will go and watch it, but I don't know if I think it'll get like dumped on because of that.
I think it's pretty important. I mean, look what they did with Mario and Chris Pratt's take on Mario. Like, he has a voice, and he has like a pretty outstanding, iconic voice. I'm not saying everybody can do it to a T, but you'd think it wouldn't be super duper hard. And then Chris Pratt came and Chris Pratted it, and it was. I mean, I watched it. It wasn't. It was interesting, and I think
But
that
you
it was
didn't like
something.
it?
I did not like it, but it wasn't like outstanding. I don't know. Charlie Day as Luigi was also very fascinating. I don't know. Aren't they meant to be like Italian brothers? And then you have Charlie Day out here. Like, I absolutely love Charlie Day. I'm a big Always Sunny fan, but yeah, that sort of thing kind of just overtakes it. And also when they prey on popularity as well. They're like, oh, this person is extremely popular in film and television right now. Let's just use them for the sake of using them. I think a lot of people complained when Harry Styles was like that, when he was at the top of his acting game, and he was in a few bits and bobs. People were like, well, they're only capitalizing on him because they know women will go and watch the movies. And I think a bit of Chris Pratt is a bit of the same. They're like, oh, people love him now because of Star-Lord, that we've got like, you know, his demographic. Let's just use him because he's popular, not because he's necessarily best for the job. And I get it. At the end of the day, it's a business decision. You're always going to be thinking first and foremost what's going to bring the viewers, bring the cash flow. But I think a bit of dignity and respect doesn't go too far astray when it comes to handling these characters. I think that there needs to be a lot of thought for the fans with it, because then it becomes a nothing. It becomes a nothing project.
I think there needs to be thought as well. So I feel like, much like you said, they capitalized on the popularity of Chris Pratt, because I remember when it was announced, I was like, I'm seeing him in everything and I'm so done. But I think it's also, there's still that misconception that games are for children, especially brightly colored games like Mario. Now, we all know that's not the case. Obviously, so many of us grew up playing Mario, and we're very much adults now. And we absolutely adore that particular franchise. So I think what they've done is they've capitalized on the popularity, assuming they're going to target the adults, and then not really worried about the voice, because they're like, oh, children won't really care. And they've completely misunderstood that actually the adults care. We care, because it was really jarring.
Yep. No, I think I totally agree with that. I think that there's pandering to a certain audience, and then also just not caring. And I think that, especially with the example of Mario, that they thought they could get away with it. I think Tom Holland as Drake in Uncharted was a bit different. Tom Holland has the experience at the moment in action and adventure films. Obviously, he comes off the back of the popularity of the Spider-Man films. I think that's a double bonus. But he at least definitely shows the same skill set. And I think it might be incorrect, but I'm pretty sure I saw that he came off of training for Spider-Man straight into Uncharted. So my boy was flexy. He was ready to go. He'd been lifting, he'd been eating, he was ready to go. So he kind of transferred those skills. And it was the same as who plays Nebula? I forget her name. That actress. She was training for Jumanji, where she plays. She's is she Scottish? She was a flippy dippy little heroine. She was awesome, doing her flips, doing her kicks, and then she went straight on to Gunpowder Milkshake. And so
Karen
she
Gillian.
That's it, Miss Karen. She came off a project that required those skills, and you could argue, I mean, she had the backing of Jumanji and several other awesome things that she's done, but she came off of the back of that project onto a new one with that skill set. So it makes more sense, and that makes more of a connection. Was I a big fan of Tom Holland's Drake? Not really. He was a bit almost too young, a bit not as rugged as I would have liked Drake to be, but it was a cutesy film. I'd probably watch it again. Like, why not? But Mr. Chris Pratt, where's your credentials other than you're probably doing the project because you've got kids yourself. And I do find that actors reach that point in their career where they're like, you know what, I wouldn't mind doing a project that my 9-year-old would love to watch, because I think that is wholesome, and it's a wholesome decision. But for the masses, is it really the right decision?
We're now a film podcast. No, we're very passionate about our favorite franchises and how they're used in entertainment, especially when you are translating something to, you know, another type of entertainment, most definitely. And we don't want to be jarring. And you know what? This is another thing. I'm going to pick a bone. The Witcher. Getting rid of Henry Cavill, replacing him. It's so jarring as
that was his decision, though. I think it's a bit different when he wanted to walk away because they weren't sticking to the original lore. And he is a big gamer himself. And so he was like, if you're not going to stick to what you should be sticking to, see you later. Because he can't put his name against a project that he probably knows is going to fail and is probably going to be absolutely desecrated by the fans. He was like, you know what? I'm sorry, this is just going to happen. He picked himself and his career over a cash grab, and I respect him for that, even though it's going to be the death of The Witcher, but it was production's decision to do that, not Henry Cavill's.
I think it's really fantastic. Like, he has built his reputation on being a nerd, and it's fantastic. And he's gone, oh, I'm not going to crap on that. I've built this and I've worked hard on it. So if you could please just actually, you know, follow the really good material that we already have, that would be fantastic. And I mean, we've seen what happens when productions go off script, like Game of Thrones, okay? Oh boy. And
please.
That was a difficult watch. So I think it's really good of him to have stepped away and gone, I'm going to go and create something that I know I can be proud of, that will honor the lore that has been put down for it, and that, you know, fans of games can really enjoy.
Well, I've shared many a picture on my Instagram of Henry with his building his PC. You know, he could make a lot of women happy if he showed that off just a little bit more. Henry, if you're out there listening, darling, please.
If he's listening,
please, more.
Thanks for returning every week, babes. Thanks.
We're here for it. Oh my goodness, you guys. We've reached the end point of the podcast. We don't like to go. We usually go for about an hour. I actually had other topics to bring up, but you know what? We've been vibing so well, and I'm actually very happy. And I don't need them. So there you go.
Woohoo!
Love that, and thank you to everyone in the chat. You've been wonderful. I'm so glad we've brought up some spicy topics, and you guys have just been eating it up. So thank you so much. Ellie, what's on the to-do list for the rest of the week? What are you up to?
I think continuing on with my my Tomb Raider adventure, I actually have a look it up to see how long they go for, because I've got all 3 actually that I would really love to check out. And then I'll be writing a review for that over on Quest Daily. For anyone that doesn't know, Quest Daily is your gaming bestie. It is a fantastic website with reviews of tech, film, games, check it out. You'll see a few things from me in Doom. So go and check it out. Quest Daily.
Wow, the plug.
Very nice.
Love that. Yes. We've been really enjoying our time with Quest Daily. I've been incredibly busy, so I don't have anything up recently. But you'll find my stuff up there as well. Very excellent, very good. Shaye, thank you so much for an amazing first episode. Absolutely love having you here. What are you up to for the next week? Tell people what you'll be up to.
Oh, streaming. We're going to have a bunch of fun climbing in League of Legends. I did say fun. That was the correct word.
Oh, yeah. I thought I misheard that.
No. It's going to be a good vibe. Everything's going to be fantastic, and we're absolutely going to encounter nice people. It's the only way. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. Yeah.
I'm not convinced.
That's fair, and I understand this completely.
I feel like she's lying, chat.
I'm trying to project positivity. It's not even coming out. See, it's just I don't even believe it inside.
The lies are getting choked up.
Yeah, I'm just not a good liar. I'm so sorry. No, we're gonna go have a chaotic time on League, attempting to claw our way to a more respectable medal color, and quite possibly calling someone a smelly git in the meantime.
You heard it here first.
Yeah.
This is the real. This might be Shaye's first confession.
Oh no! Trust me, they see it on stream. It gets worse. Oh boy.
What nights do you stream?
So I stream Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday at 7 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. So this slots in nicely between my streams.
Beautiful. I'm so glad I'm not interrupting you all because I know you're busy gals.
I don't need to sleep. It's fine. I don't really know what that is, and I don't think it's that important. I'll be right. It's fine.
It's all right. You're not a real gamer if you sleep. You know what I mean? And what will I be getting up to this week? Well, outside of doing a lot of scheduling for the podcast, getting guests, topics, all that kind of stuff. I've returned to work. So last year when I first created Confessions of a Gamer Girl, I was on leave from work, so I had a lot of time to invest into it. I've created a fantastic foundation, I feel, and it's just kind of figuring out like how that fits in with my everyday life now that I've gone back to teaching. So I'll be spending a lot of my week repeating myself to young people, small humans, and going crazy and being paid salary for that. Love that.
Have you considered a herding dog? Like maybe that would assist?
A herding dog?
Yeah, herding dog. So you can just sort of be like, all right, everybody, we're going to look at the board, and then you get the dog to stand in front of the board, and then hopefully someone takes in some knowledge. Yeah,
I've got a laser pointer.
Ooh, good.
Yeah. I did have one of my year 1 students try to chase it around the floor like a cat.
As you do.
And then he really wanted me to do it again, and I said, "This feels." In my head, I was like, "This feels wrong and cruel. I'm not going to do it again." Anyway, it's strictly for instructional purposes. Not for that. You guys, I'm all right. I just one last thing. What else I'll be doing this week? So I teach digital technologies to year 1s and year 4s and year 5s, right? I'm a certified Minecraft educator ambassador. So love that. Love using Minecraft education. But you know what I don't love? I don't love the students taking 10 minutes to type their email address in with one finger. And I don't enjoy, even though the instructions are on the board, they must get my attention, and I must whiz around the room. I was sweating today. Like, not because of the heat, because I had run a marathon. I did like 30,000 steps, I swear to you, going around to each of the computers. What's this? This is taking too long. I can't make it go faster, mate. I just can't.
Yeah.
That's not in my power. So
Australian internet.
Australian rural internet.
I've got bad
the
news
double
for you.
whammy.
Like at uni level, it doesn't get any better. It really doesn't.
Look,
They
I'm
type
gonna-
a little better, but
It's like, I don't know what to do next. Read. It says it right there. The shiny character in the video game is telling you what to do. Maybe have a look. Anyway, moving on. Once again, thank you to everyone who is listening. Thank you to our chat. Thank you to the lovely co-hosts that I have here at Conventions of a Gamer Girl, and we will see you next week.
Heck yeah.
Take care, gamers.
bye everyone.
Bye.
Bye.